Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day. I'm back with a new creature feature, which is my closest personal friend, Wobuffet. Now, I saw this sneak in on the Great League rankings as an XL. It's ranked at 15 on PvPoke, I believe, which is a great site you should check out if you haven't already. I thought that sounded a bit ridiculous because it tops out at 1160 CP when fully maxed out at level 50. Seems like it shouldn't work. However, that said, it is insanely bulky, it's got a really high stat product. It's basically a sort of budget Deoxys-Defence. And then when I got one from a rocket, I thought, well, maybe I'll give it a try anyway. So here we are with it. As you can see, the CP is not 1160. I haven't finished maxing it out. I wanted to put it through its paces first before I blew 500,000 dust and set 300 XL candy on it, and just to see how it played out. This is in the Remix Cup, where we've got a supporting cast of Altaria and Registeel. That's always been a strong combo, and it's only really been suppressed by things like Azumarill and Galarian stunfisk, neither of which are here to rain on our parade. And I had just lost a couple of matches to someone running basically the same thing with Altaria, Deoxys-Defence and Registeel. So I thought, why not give it a try? This is a bit of a longer video. I'm not going to be too offended if you just decide you get bored and just want to stop, because I have recorded most of my matches for yesterday, just to give you a feel for how Wobuffet actually plays in, a reasonable sample of the meta. So we've got some lead losses in there, we've got some lead wins, it's all good. And with that in mind, I'm just going to hop into those matches. So first up, we're playing at around 2400. I'm not exactly sure where we are here because I have gained quite nicely with this team. So we lead into Jellicent. Jellicent is actually bad news for the entirety of the team, apart as the Ice Beam is obviously a problem for Altaria. The Ghost typing is a problem for Wobuffet, and the Ghost and the Water typing means that neither Flash Cannon nor Focus Blast hit for even neutral. So we're going to have to stay with Altaria, because at least with Dragon Breath and Sky Attack we can hit them for neutral, and we can just throw shields at the Ice Beams. That's exactly what we're going to do, with double shielding, and hopefully they'll just let go and not go for a second shield, but we'll throw a Sky Attack anyway, and hope to get them to see this matchup. Right, so they haven't got down to equalise shields, because they've got a Ninetales there. So at this point we switch out immediately, because Ninetales versus Altaria is just terrible news, whereas Ninetales versus Wobuffet, not so much. At this point I'm not actually sure why they haven't counter switched us, unless there's something else they've got that that is strong against Altaria. So actually let's speed back that play back a bit. Speed. Oh. There we go, speed faster, okay. So we're going for, actually they've got the shield advantage, but we're effectively no shields match here. We haven't quite won against Ninetales, but it was close. So we're taking out the Registeel, and they've got a Toxicroak in the back. So that's why they didn't swap out, because obviously the Toxicroak versus the Wobuffet wouldn't be so good. The Registeel is now in a bit of a tough position, because this is probably Sludge Bomb going to take us out. Yep. So Registeel versus Toxicroak. This is bad news. The Mud Bombs do super effective, the counter damage does super effective, and what we need to do is get to a Flash Cannon first, and we do. With shields left, that would have not worked for us, but as it was, we just about manage it. So Altaria into Apollyon, another lead loss. We're going into Wobuffet to fight the Penguin of Doom, and in comes a Roserade. This is one of the few reasons you want to use a Mirror Coat, because Mirror Coat is actually a pretty horrible move generally. With 55 energy for 60 damage, it's like, one weather ball for the price of two. It's just terrible. However, it's super effective against poison. You do get the stab with it, so it's actually doing a noticeable amount. And look at that, a Leaf Storm, and we tanked it. So we're going to throw another Mirror Coat and get that shield off them, even better. And I think the weather ball now will take us out, but that's okay, because we can bring the Altaria back in and go for a bit of a farm down here. We resist the fire, we resist the grass, and they're not going to get to either. In comes Apollyon, we switch to Registeel, and it's a Toxicroak. This is not great, but we do have two shields. So we're going to let the Mud Bomb land, and at this point they're left trying to decide whether to let the Flash Cannon eat their face. So Toxicroak got an energy lead, and if we're lucky this is a Mud Bomb bait, but I don't think it is. Yeah, it's a Sludge Bomb. Okay, so Mud Bomb obviously we resist quite hard, so it's quite a bad move to throw at us, but it might have got a shield. So low health Altaria with 2 shields versus Empoleon with more health. That resists Dragon Breath, it resists Sky Attack, but in return we resist their water moves. So let's see if we can do this. Okay, yep. And there we go. I think we've got it in the bag. We're going to get the Sky Attack off before they get to another one. Yep. I like Empoleon, it's great, but it isn't half slow to get to those charge moves, even if they do hit like a hammer. Waterfall's great too, I mean it's a good move, it's just slow and low energy. Altaria into Wigglytuff. We've got another lead loss, so we go into our safe swap of Wobbuffet. Obstagoon is an interesting choice to bring in, because obviously against a mono psychic, Obstagoon is usually the right choice, but in this case it's doing counter damage in return, so we're hitting double super effective with such a low attack stat that, as you can see, double super effective is not doing anything near as much as it should to this Wobuffet. So we are going to shield here, because Night Slashes are going to start hurting, and we've got a shield off them already. So if we double shield, I think we should be able to counter them all the way down and build up a nice energy lead. Yes. I think it's quite brave to switch that in, but still. In comes Wigglytuff. We're going to throw the return and try and equalise those shields. And we do. Excellent. At which point we hit neutral with our counter damage, which is good. And I think they're going to be pressed to throw. Well, maybe not actually, they're going to farm us all the way down. Still, we won the switch, which means we get the alignment, which means we get the Registeel going into a Wiggly, rather than, well, Altaria, which would have been terrible news. They haven't switched out on us yet, I don't know quite why, but still. We're going to build a bit of an energy lead, because we do resist all their moves, and, you know, it's only 30 energy on the Flash Cannon, but so be it. And they've got a Ninetales in the back. Well, that's bad news, because the Flash Cannon is double super effective. Good game, goodbye. Altaria leading into Jellicent. Again, because Jellicent has got some good play against the rest of the team, we need to do the double shield thing and hope they don't. No, we can get the health very low if we double shield it, so that's not too bad. And there we go, another Sky Attack going through. And they do shield it this time, so we equalise the shields. We're going to shield the Ice Beam, and I'm not actually entirely sure whether we can farm down at this point, but we're going to try. And the answer is no, they're going to get the Ice Beam, so they're going to take us out. However, that health is now low, but we are left with the ugly choice of, do we want to throw something that double resists at it, and just try and peck it away with Mirror Coat? And as you can see, that Shadow Ball, super effective, but doesn't actually do that much damage. It's crazy. Right, so, Jellicent has taken... Okay, so Ninetales, this is looking up. We've got the Registeel in here, and we've got a Vigoroth. Now, Vigoroth would be a problem with the counter damage, but there's no shields left, so we're just going to throw a Focus Blast, and then lock on farm down the Vigoroth. Yes. Here comes the Ninetales, and yeah, they're not going to get to move before we get to a Flash Cannon. Good game, well played. Altaria into Scrafty. Let's sped this up double actually, but anyway, they've counter switched us with a Ninetales, which means I think there's a reasonably good chance they've got another Charmer in the back. But that's okay. In hindsight, I probably should have brought the Registeel in. Still. Wobuffet is going to throw us a move at the Ninetales, and there we go. Away at it with returns, see if we can get some damage in. There we go. So shields are down, that's good, but it does mean we're left in a position where we would be otherwise, in that we've got the Registeel versus the Ninetales, and they've still got a Scrafty in the back. So like I say, I think I should probably have brought the Registeel in instead, but it's still not a good place to be. We are going to be able to build up some energy here thanks to resisting the charm. We overcharge to 100 energy and then throw a Flash Cannon. It doesn't really matter whether we undercharge this, because it will still take them out. And it means we're now left facing a Scrafty. We'll bring the Altaria and also Whimsicott. So this is not all lost yet, but Whimsicott is still not very good news for us. So Sky attack will take it down a long way. If we're lucky, we can lock on farm with the Registeel. Yes, so our play here is to lock on this all the way down, shield the grass knot, and hope a focus blast is enough to take out that Scrafty. I have a feeling it isn't still. There we go. Focus blast time. It does hit super effective, but Scrafty's pretty chunky, and yeah, there we go, not quite enough. Almost in lock on farm down range, but not quite. Still, good game, well played. What have we got next? Politoed. Okay, we like Politoed leads. We do well against Politoeds. If they've got Earthquake, they're in trouble, but they've probably got Blizzard. So they're staying in. So we're going to assume they've got Blizzard. I mean, it could be they're playing a mind game and they've got Earthquake all along, but yeah. So they've built up to have enough energy for Blizzard, so we have to shield and respect that possibility. And it was a bait. So, well, fair played. They baited us. And now they're at a Blizzard again, so we have to shield again. And it's something to do with Blizzard. Okay, so that's okay. That means we can probably take the shield off them, or overfarm them a little bit, because it'll take them a little bit longer to get to another Blizzard. And then throw. Are they going to shield this? No, they're not. Okay. In comes Reggie. So, here comes the Wobuffet. This is a slap fest of the Titans. You know, they're our charge moves are resisted by them. Their flash cannon is obviously not resisted, but doesn't do very much. And we're throwing counter damage, which is super effective. Their lock-on damage is obviously neutral, but isn't very much. So return doesn't do very much. Flash cannon also doesn't do very much. There we go. But I think we're in danger of winning the zero shields versus Reggie, so that's great. They bail and give us a Deoxys, even better. Actually, because it means our Registeel is now faced off against their Registeel. But they've certainly built up enough energy to throw another flash cannon or focus blast, I'm sure. So, obviously we've got no shields left. Our Reggie's got enough health to eat a focus blast, just about, and be able to fire one in return, so maybe that will be enough. We'll throw a return here and get a bit more off the Deoxys. There we go. And bring the Registeel here. Obviously they're able to do some counter damage. If we overfarm them a little bit and let them take our health down a long way, we can, you know. And at this point, I should have been a bit sharper with the switch, because that's just costing the game. That focus blast is going to take us out. Oh, not quite. But we're left trying to take out a Registeel with an Altaria. We'll overfarm a little bit, and just hope and pray the Deoxys doesn't have Rock Slide. And it has Rock Slide. Okay, so we're probably losing here. We're not going to get a side attack before we get to another one, especially not if we lag like that. We do have a move load on the Reggie, but they can't go through first. That seems a bit unfair to me, actually, but still. So it goes. Well played. Good game. Altaria into Bastiodon. Another hard lead loss. So straight into the Wobuffet. Meganium, which is an interesting one. I suppose it keeps it away from Altaria, because Altaria is bad news for Meganium. And let's see what they throw. An Earthquake. Actually, I think they probably should have used Friendly Plant here, because they're both neutral, and Friendly Plant gets Stab. And it's also an insanely good move if it's neutral. Right, so are they going to try and Frenzy Plant us now? Yep. Okay, so as you can see, Frenzy Plant's the move to go to here. We're going to throw a Mirror Coat, because I think they're in return range now, and this will get a shield if they're going to. Excellent, we're going to shield. And so we've got a bit more energy, and we're going to shield in return. Let's see if we can get them to throw their shield on the floor. Obviously, if we can get the Registeel against the Basti, it's toast, because the Flamethrowers don't do enough, whereas the Focus Blast most certainly do. Mirror Coat, yep. So down 2 shields. Not going to take it out. Oh, just about. Simultaneous KO. So when the timer runs out, we'll get randomly picked. And depending on which we get randomly picked, depends on whether we win or we lose. they get superior, and we get Altaria, so they lose. Because now the Bastiodon's going to get focus blasted, and the flamethrower is not going to be enough. Okay, so flamethrower, build up a bit of energy, throw the focus blast. Actually, in hindsight, you know, if it was the other way around, we might still be able to carry it, because superior isn't that deadly to Reggie. But this is just much more one-sided. Altaria versus Hypno, a shiny purified Hypno. That's an interesting spicy pick. I mean, I've seen Shadows quite often, but still. We're taking a risk. They've got Ice Punch, and we're just going for a switch. So we're going for Mono Psychic versus Mono Psychic. Their computing damage is obviously resisted by us, and it's Return Hypno, which is intriguing. I've not actually seen that in quite some time. So we're going to throw Return in return. And so we've got Slapfest of resistant charge moves, Stupid Bulk on the Wobbuffet, exchanging returns. In comes Politoed, that's good, keeps it away from the Registeel. Return goes through, no, return gets shielded, even better. This is probably a Weather Ball, doing not very much. Now, unlike with Swampert or Whiscash, actually Weather Ball is your neutral damage move. Actually no, Hydro Cannon is better on Swampert as well, but Whiscash in particular, Mud Bomb, is actually lower efficiency than Blizzarding. In this case, they're just going to Weather Ball us all the way down. Still not quite though. Okay, so in comes Altaria with the shields. I'm going to risk this being Blizzard and shield it. It's not. So if they stay in, then we're anticipating a Blizzard as the next one. So we're just going to throw that Sky Attack aggressively and see if they shield. If they don't shield, well, if they don't shield, so great. If they did shield, then we'd have had to shield the Blizzard. Hypno comes back in. We'll find out if they've got Ice Punch this time. And the answer is no, there's return. So I'm not actually sure what they wanted to throw there, but still. They've landed 2 returns on us, I guess, so it's been a good value. And Superior in the back. Okay, so at this point, I think they're onto a loser, because I think we're going to get another Sky Attack off before they take us out. Either way, we're going to shield this. It'll be a Frenzy Plant. Or actually, no, an Air Release. Okay, so either would have taken us out, I think. At this point, good game. Well played. What's next? Altaria into Bastiodon. Yay, another lead loss. So, in comes the Wobuffet. And he starts getting that energy up. Deoxys Wobuffet face off, even better. Right, so we'll throw a return at them. And proceed to slowly slap each other down with counters that we both resist and we both have Stupid Bulk. But this is actually kind of my point of interest. I'm quite intrigued to see how Wobuffet versus Deoxys plays out, because that's part of the consideration as to whether to run it or not. Looks like we're going no shields to no shields, and they're thunderbolting us. I think Rock Slide is probably the slightly better move for damage, slightly high efficiency. Excuse me. But Thunderbolt is going to take us out. Okay, so at this point we're going to throw a Mirror Coat, hoping to get a shield off them. In hindsight, that's probably not the right call, but still, let's risk it. No, don't get a shield, and they can't take us down anyway. So we can Altaria in, and we're fairly confident they haven't got Rock Slide, but they do have Psychic Boost, that's fine. We'll get a bit farmed down, and then switch straight to the Registeel, because we can be sure the Bastiodon's coming in. Now, Meganium versus Registeel is a bit of a tough matchup. Obviously, Meganium's got Earthquake, which is deadly, and we've got Flash Cannon, which isn't quite so deadly. So all we need to do is shield one of the Earthquakes, and we can't really afford not to shield, and this is a bait. So, yes, we're going to have to shield the second one, because obviously they built up to another Earthquake, and if we can shield the Earthquake, we win, and if we don't shield the Earthquake, we probably lose. So, again, call it an Earthquake, and hope this works. Excellent, so they're dry on energy now, and I don't think they're going to make it to the move they need. We are going to switch to Altaria to kind of push them out, and in hindsight that might have been a mistake, because now they've probably got most of the way to an earthquake, and yeah, okay, fair enough. We can focus blast the Reggie, but the Basti, but what we really need to do is get some energy farming back in. So we can throw a flash cannon and see how much that does. So I think a second flash cannon will take his health lowish, and we'll get a lock on farming. And I misjudged that, so I should have uncharged by a bit more. Because if I can farm down that health, that will get me some energy, but not enough for when the Meganium comes back in and throws an earthquake at us. But it was close, it was close. I think that was the right play maybe, just badly executed. Good game, well played. What have we got next? Altaria into Jellicent. So, as before, Ice Beam hurts us, and we don't really want Jellicent going up against anything else in the team, so we stay in with Altaria. And we get a shield. We have to shield the Ice Beam. I mean, if it's Bubble Beam, we won't shield the second one, but yeah, I don't see Bubble Beam very often on Jellicent, just occasionally though. I'm not keen. I don't like Bubble Beam very much on something that doesn't have a high damage fast move. So, Ice Beam. We've now gone 2 shields to 0, which is unfortunate, but we have won the switch. And it turns out they've got a Charmer in the back, so in hindsight maybe we shouldn't have won the switch. Still, let us hope there's something in the back that Altaria is actually useful against. And so, with Ninetales here, I'm going to have to guess that they're staying in with it and not trying to switch out to chase the Altaria, because they've got another Charmer in the back. That's actually okay for us, because if we can equalise these shields with another return. Excellent, so equal shields, and we've got Registeel left. So we can farm that away. Oh, it's a Vigoroth in the back. Okay, so that wasn't going to... Actually, yes, why did they not swap it out? They should have swapped that out. Okay, fine. Should probably swap their Charmer, because then they'd have a chance of aligning it against the Altaria. And as it stands, not so much. Well played, thank you very much. Right, how many have we got left? I don't know. Some. Right, as before with Jellicent, we've got Excadrill versus a Wobuffet, so let's see how it does. As before, we're just going to no shields everything with the Wobuffet. It's a draw run. Excadrill is kind of your ghetto Galarian stunfisk. It does hit quite a bit harder, and the drill runs come out faster than earthquakes, but it's not anything like as bulky, and you really notice that lack. I've tried it a few times and just not really felt it. As you can see, that return probably wouldn't have taken out a Galarian stunfisk on that health. So the Jellicent comes back in, and this is where one of the few acceptable reasons to use Mirror Coat is when return is double resisted by a Ghost type. Otherwise, it's just such a bad move, you probably shouldn't. There we go. So they can't really farm us down because of that insane bulk, so they have to throw the Shadow Ball. They have almost certainly farmed up some energy lead. Yeah, there we go. So the Ice Beam's coming through with just a couple of bubbles. Oh, it's a Bubble Beam. They don't have Ice Beam, so at which point I think they've lost, because they can't actually Ice Beam our Altaria. And now we've got alignment against the Ninetales with a Registeel. Now, I mean, they do have 2 shields, but they're going to have to use them because Flash Cannon is double super effective, and we'll do that. Yikes. Okay, so Jellicent does resist Flash Cannon, so perhaps it was sensible for them to preserve it. However, at the same time, Flash Cannon does still hurt, even when resisted, so there you go, taking off half their health. It's not looking good for them. They're going to have to throw, and this will probably take us out if we don't shield. But we do know they haven't got Ice Beam, so we can actually probably survive. Maybe letting through a charge move. Okay, so I'm going to call it and say I think this is probably a Bubble Beam and not shield it. I don't think a Shadow Ball would have taken us out, whereas obviously we know they don't have Ice Beam at this point. That's one of the big problem with Bubble Beam. You know, it's not actually useful as coverage. It's a really bad move if they don't shield it, and if they can afford not to shield it, then you're stuck. Right, so another lead loss, which Cash comes in, and this is where you get to see the experimental theory of, you know, blizzards versus mud bombs. Mud bomb does that much for 40 energy, whereas blizzard's 70 or 75. Anyway, I've done some before. Blizzard is more efficient than mud bomb off a Whiscash, despite mud bomb being stab. Obviously, that assumes they are going to shield, which we're not because we've got Wobuffet. And as you can see, Blizzard does usefully large chunk. And we throw a return. And at which point we're going to get another mud bomb coming through. Yes. Okay. At this point, I think we can get another shield off them if we shield here. So let's try that. I need more practice with psychic moves. There we go. Yeah, so this point, nah, I shouldn't have shielded that. They're going to be able to farm us down with mud shots. That's bad news. Still, that was a bit of a waste of shield. But we've equalised shields rather than actively wasting them, so we get the Registeel in to have a bit of farm down and see if we've got anything else left that's capable of taking on Reggie. Anything? Seems not. Good game, thank you. Altaria into Mandibuzz. Fairly equal matchup. Obviously, Mandibuzz is bulkier, but doesn't hit too hard. Altaria's got some nice damage from Dragon Breath, so we'll see how it goes. I think we're going to go try for no shields and see if we can win it, because obviously people don't like to shield Mandibuzz particularly. Throw the Sky Attack. And incoming Foul Play probably. Yes. Mandibuzz's got a lot of bulk, can throw a lot of charge moves, but none of them hit very hard. So it's one of those ones where you kind of feel bad about shielding them because they just don't hit hard enough to matter. But at the same time, they do add up. So right, so in comes Mawile. We're going to switch immediately to Wobuffet and hope they don't realise that we have a Registeel at the back and decide to counter switch us. Because obviously Mawile versus Registeel is just terrible news. Right, so we're going to build up to return and throw. Mawile is pretty squishy, but they resist everything we can throw, so okay, get the shield, that's fine. Getting shield's good. Iron Head? Let's go with Iron Head. Yes, okay. So Iron Head does the appreciable amount of damage, especially with a better power-up punch behind it, but I think we're going to be able to take this Mawile all the way down. Well, I mean, I suppose I could have shielded that, but it would have been a bit of a high-stakes gamble to go down 2 shields to 0. Right, so Escavalier. Obviously Registeel doesn't like Escavalier, but Altaria doesn't have a huge problem with it. We're going to shield the Drill Run, throw a Sky Attack. And clicked a bit too slow, and have to use our second shield, which is unfortunate, but it does mean we should be able to get the shield off them with the Sky Attack, because otherwise it would take their health way too low. Okay, so got the shield, in comes Reggie. Now they're going to Drill Run us, we're going to race into a Focus Blast. Drill Run is going to hurt, but not quite enough. No. Okay, and so it's Focus Blast time. Goodbye Escavalier. Fighting's neutral, but it does quite a lot of damage. I'm hoping then like that we're going to be seeing a Spiritomb, but I suspect we're not. Okay, Jettison. It's almost a Spiritomb, right? As before, it's a Jettison, so we need to shield the Ice Beams and we need to do the Dragon Breathing thing. Ice Beam coming through. And there we go. We're going to throw the Sky Attack. Get the shield. Okay, they switch to a Vigoroth, which is great because Wobuffet likes Vigoroths. We hit them super effective with our counter, but still not very much. And they're going to be able to body slam us. We'll get a few body slams through. Look at that, not very much at all. Another body slam. Getting a nice big pile of energy here though, so that's okay. going to throw a return. As you can see, the body slam doesn't do very much at all, and it's all adding up, so it's all good. Okay, in comes the Jellicent again. That's okay though, we can deal with that. This is one of the few occasions where Mirror Coat's acceptable, because obviously you hit for neutral, rather than being double resisted like Return is. Still such a bad move, it could be better. I'm not going to shield here, let's force them to use their energy. Oh, nice play though, that by Ice Beaming us to get a bit more farm in, so they're probably at another Ice Beam, which means we're going to have to shield them. Yeah. So the question is, can we take them all the way down with Dragon Breath? Not quite, damn it. I could have got the shield off them there, but still. And Ice Beam of course takes us out. And there's a Diggersby in the back. So I think we're into a loser here. I'm going to throw the Flash Cannon just in the hopes that it will get the shield, which it doesn't, so I think we just lost. Well played, well played. And for the Sky Attack they wouldn't have the shield, so we could have Focus Blast it. Serves me right for trying to farm down a Jellicent, really, I guess. Well played, thank you. Altaria into Altaria, so this is possibly a mirror match. Well, near mirror match, let's see. It's a Deoxys, so we're going Deoxys versus Wobuffet. Let's see, Rock Slide or Thunderbolt? Thunderbolt it is. Okay, so we're going to be trading returns for Thunderbolts and see who wins. Thunderbolt really doesn't do very much damage at all, but they are getting us to yellow before we're getting them to yellow, so I think we're going to be losing this if we don't shield. At this point, going through my mind is it worth spending a shield to get the switch advantage? Under the assumption that they might have, well, I don't know what they've got in the back, but it could be a variety of things, some of which are quite hostile to Altarias. So, yeah. I'm going to try and get a shield off them with a Mirror Coat and shield myself. So they throw a Thunderbolt, we shield them, we throw the Mirror Coat, hoping they're going to shield too, and they don't. So they go down, the Altaria gets some farm in, and this in hindsight is what's cost me the game, because if I'd done it the other way around, I'd be able to farm down their Deoxys. But then I didn't actually know what they had in the back, I was just guessing it was probably a Registeel, and sure enough, it's a Registeel. But a Registeel with 2 shields versus a Registeel with 1 shield, and this just doesn't end well with my Registeel. And likewise with the Altaria, I'm not actually sure if there's a way to play this to victory, apart from try and catch that Focus Blast, but I don't think that, yeah, they reacted a bit too quick, and obviously didn't Focus Blast us. We're not going to get to another Sky Attack, not that it matters. Sorry, we're going to get another Sky Attack, not that it matters, because obviously they're building up the energy farm with lock on. So even if we didn't have equal shields, I think we'd be in trouble. Yes, there is no way for us to double Flash Cannon them before they get to another Focus Blast. So good game, well played. I think in hindsight I should have let the Wobbuffet go down against the Deoxys and done exactly to them what they did to me. That way I'd have had an energy lead, but we'd have equal shields, so it might well have, I don't know actually, it might have worked in my favour. Right, Altaria into a load of Ninetales, another hard lead loss. I have all the luck today. Right, so we swap into our Wobuffet, they bring in Medicham, which is an interesting one, because obviously they resist us, we resist them. But well, let's go with it. And again, they're throwing Psychics. I'm not quite sure why they're doing that, because Power Punch would be sensible to build up some power, or build some extra damage. And Ice Punch is at least neutral where we resist Psychic. So, I don't know. let's pretend it's some big brain strategy and roll with it. At this point we're going to throw a Mirror Coat because we think the return's going to threaten them enough to get a shield off them. Only it doesn't. But still, Mirror Coat does hit for neutral, so that's not too bad. And we're going to let this through. Psychic. Yep. Actually, I should probably check whether Ice Punch does in fact do more damage when more damage when neutral than Psychic does when resisted. It might be it doesn't actually. Ice Punch. Let's take us out. That's okay. We can finish them off with Altaria, get a bit of energy farming in. And for sure they're going to bring the Ninetales back and we bring the Registeel out. Now, like the last match, Registeel versus Registeel, only we've got 2 shields and they've got 1, so that's okay. We're going to shield the inevitable Focus Blast. No, it's Flash Cannon, okay. We're going to throw a Focus Blast in return, which obviously they can't afford not to shield. And then we're going to throw another Focus Blast at them. Yeah. And even better, they may not actually be able to get their move off. Okay, no, they are going to. Right, at this point the health on their Reggie is low, but it's not quite enough to lock on farm them, I don't think. So we're going to build up some energy and we're going to farm down with Altaria instead to throw out the Ninetales, because that way we can get a bit of energy. And then absorb it on the Registeel, obviously. Getting a bit dangerous here because now we need to be able to Focus Blast their Registeel before they Focus Blast us in return. So actually we can't really afford to throw the Flash Cannon at this Ninetales because that will take it out. So we're going to Focus Blast it instead. And we're going to undercharge and just do a little bit of bubble popping to take it nicely down in health, but fortunately the Registeel was low enough health that we could lock on farm it anyway. And then Ninetales will do the same. And at this point I'm just being a git and throwing a Flash Cannon at 1 hit point Ninetales. But still, good game, well played. Right, Altaria into Deoxys. So, the question is, do they have Rock Slide? Because obviously Rock Slide hurts us, but Thunderbolt does not. Psycho Boost, so that probably means they do have Thunderbolt, because otherwise they'd use a Rock Slide, I think. So they bring the Wigglytuff, which is bad news. We're going to go head to head with the Wobuffet. Again, in hindsight, perhaps I should have brought Reggie in, but let's go with it. We are at least neutral to the Wigglytuff because it's normal fairy, cancelling out the fighting resistance, and we do have a very, very bulky Wobuffet here. So here we go, slap, 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 throw the return. Go on, give us a shield. You know you want to. You do, you do, you do. Okay, so they're going to win the switch, but at this point the Wiggly is now low enough in health that if we bring the Reggie in, we can lock on farm it. So that's what we're going to do. Ice Beam doesn't hurt us enough. Charm does add up if you sit here for long enough, but we should be able to get them all the way down and have a nice big pile of energy ball comes in next. And 2 shields, which is even better. So Deoxys comes back, and as I said, I'm pretty sure they've got Thunderbolt on it, but I guess we'll find out in a moment because they're not going to Psycho Boost the Registeel. Throw the Flash Cannon. And switch to the Altaria. And get the Sky Attack off. So actually we don't get to find out if they had Thunderbolt. In comes the Ninetales, which is obviously bad news for the Altaria. Double Charmers, but Double Charmers versus a Registeel with 2 shields is just not going to work out for them. So, Flash Cannon time. Double super effective against that Fairy Ice. Thank you and good night. Right, that's your lot for the matches. I hope that's given you a nice feel of how Wobuffet actually plays out. I'm quite liking it, I have to say. You know, I think there's lots of people who underestimate the whole 1100 CP thing coming into my league. What's this guy playing at? Oh wait, it's hurting. So yes, it's an expensive toy. It's quite fun. I quite like it. I think I'm going to be building a few more teams around it in future. How's your Rubik's Cup going? I hope it's going well. Have you got some good team ideas going on? And so, with that in mind, I hope you have a good day, and thank you very much for watching.